Well, Donald Trump is irate enough over unverified rumors of Russian influence over him, some of which have apparently leaked from the intelligence world. He's comparing U.S. intelligence services, or appears to be, to the Third Reich. He tweeted this today, quote, "Intelligence agencies should never have allowed this fake news to leak into the public. One last shot at me. Are we living in Nazi Germany?" Where are these leaks coming from in the first place, which is a fair question, and how worried should we be about what it means that intelligence services may be leaking them? We're joined now by Ambassador James Woolsey, who previously served as CIA director under Bill Clinton, and until last week was an advisor to the Trump transition team. Ambassador, thanks for joining us tonight.
Sure. So, good to be with you, Tucker.
So President-elect Trump's position seems to be, and a lot of people share this view, that a lot of the stuff is coming from disgruntled employees in the executive branch who work for various intelligence agencies who don't like him. They favored Hillary Clinton, and they're trying to undermine him before he even takes office. Do you think that's true?
So this is something separate from the BuzzFeed stuff. I suppose there could be some people, I think it would be a very small number, that would do something like that, but I think the number is tiny. I think it's far more likely to be invented stuff from, in the Washington scene that gets tossed into the hopper.
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of, if you're just an ordinary news consumer like me, a lot of the conclusions from the so-called intelligence community are filtered through press accounts. And if you've been reading the Washington Post, for example, or the New York Times these last couple of months, you've read that the intelligence community, again, whatever that is, believes that Donald Trump was the favored candidate of Vladimir Putin, who seeks to influence him upon his taking office. That seems like the product of leaks to me.
Well, it's hard to know where something like that is coming from. I think, for example, one bit of evidence, so-called, that was discussed a great deal was a medal. A medal was given to, actually, I take it back. This is to the
Rex
incoming Secretary of Tillerson, the Secretary of State.
Yeah.
But it gives a similar picture. Something like that gets tossed into the hopper, and people don't dig down and see that that medal is the same one that's given to visiting athletes and visiting performers in the theater, and is not any kind of sign of closeness or substantive cooperation. And I think the only way to pick out what's going to happen with Russia on substantive cooperation is to watch and see what their morale is and how they operate, because we have to maintain, I think, a much firmer position than the Obama administration did. Yeah. And I think that we will, if we do that, we have a chance of getting along reasonably well with the Russians. But if we behave the way the government did during the Obama administration, the Russians will do everything possible to take advantage of that. I negotiated with them 4 times on 4 major treaties over a number of years. 3 of those times they were standard Russian behavior, dour, unhelpful, prevaricating, etc. One of the 4 was terrific. It was right after the Berlin Wall went down, so I don't think it was so much my negotiating skills as it was the loss of confidence that they experienced as a result of that. But they were a delight to work with. We put together a 107-page treaty in 6 months covering all the non-nuclear weapons in Europe. It was fine until Putin renounced it a few years ago. But they were easy to work with.
Okay, but they're also hard to understand. Anyone else is hard to know. It's hard to know someone's motive. So when I hear the CIA say, we know for a fact that Putin supported Trump, wanted Trump to win, and advocated for his victory, sub rosa, my first thought is, well, how do you know that? How could you know that? How could you know what Putin wants? Who are you, God now? I mean, do I have right to be skeptical of claims like that?
Sure. I think it's perfectly reasonable to be skeptical of claims of that sort. And I don't think most of that is coming from the intelligence community. I think it's banter around Washington. I don't think the hostility between Trump and the committee, the community, is nearly what people are saying. I think it's remediable.
Okay.
I think it's going to be relatively easy for them to work together as soon as there is a new government.
Well, I hope that's true for everyone's sake. They'll get them in the end otherwise, I bet you. Thanks a lot, Ambassador. Great to see you.
Sure, good to see you.